Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live edition of the Market Down Podcast. Full crew tonight. My name is Nick Cummings, joined by Danny Hernandez, Chad Big Bad Johnson, and James Gisanti. A lot to talk about on this episode of AEW Dynamite, and we're not going to start with any wrestling promos. We're not going to start with any matches. We are going to start with Tony Khan's big announcements where he brought out New Japan president and it was immediately erupted by Adam Cole, letting us all know that on June 28th at the United Center in Chicago, AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling will be putting on the Forbidden Door pay-per-view.
Woo, baby!
We have all been waiting for this. We have been anticipating it for a long time. We're all very excited. Just to wrap up the end of that segment, Cole announced that he will be facing Ishii on Rampage this Friday, and then invited Jay White to go out onto the stage where he took the microphone, said that this pay-per-view, from a very frightened Tony Khan was petrified of Jay White. And Jay said that this wasn't about New Japan or AEW. It was about the Undisputed Elite and Bullet Club. So, James, I'm going right to you here as our resident New Japan expert. We were speculating about this last week. You weren't here, but we talked about the AEW and New Japan streaming deal. So we were speculating, hey, maybe something like this could happen. And no less than a week later, we have our co-branded pay-per-view.
I am so excited. The writing was on the wall, or should I say the writing was on the door, and we were all hoping. We We needed it. We just needed the confirmation, and we got it. And it's felt like such a climb to get here. When AEW first started, there was no thought that we were going to get this crossover, this co-branded show. New Japan was not happy with the Elite, specifically Kenny and the Bucks and Cody. They were not happy with AEW's creation. And then little by little, we started seeing that wall break, and we started to see the formation of a door. Whether it was Kenta coming, whether it was Jay White coming, whether it was Minoru Suzuki coming, whether it was Ishii coming, or seeing some AEW guys show up on New Japan Strong, and then to throw in, got to plug it, Impact, sort of just being like this weird halfway house for everybody to show up in. It was building. We got there, and it was amazing. Now that we're here, this is a show. Chicago. We could all joke about the fact that Chicago gets everything, but it's the birthplace, really, of AEW when you think about it, because of All In. And now that we're getting such a big show there once again, oh God, it feels right. And this is coming from somebody who wants more shows in New York. Sorry for everybody in the Midwest. You guys get nothing apparently. But I am so happy. There is so much potential for matches between the two brands. So many dream matches we could get. I can tell you right now, I want Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. I want Tanahashi versus Hangman. I want Okada versus anybody. And let me tell you, there's one aspect of this that just keeps nagging at me. There's one aspect of this that just keeps gnawing at me. I need an appearance from the cleaner. I need an appearance from Kenny Omega. We all keep hearing he's not ready to return to the ring. I'm willing to buy it, but I can't believe that there is going to be a Japan show and Kenny Omega, the man who bridged so many American viewers into New Japan, for him to not be there, no, it needs to happen. It's got to happen. The show is amazing. Please give it to me now.
Danny, you seem to want to jump in here. Go right ahead.
I don't know what makes you say that, but okay.
I thought you were giving me the.
Oh no, I was just mocking James's.
I'm sorry, I'm Italian.
I'm Italian too. I do the same thing.
Don't think you're on me.
Well, it's so natural for me to just start doing it with you. But I agree with James's points. I don't share his enthusiasm, not because I don't like it, but because I'm not gonna match that fucking.
I don't think any of us are.
You know. The only thing I will say that's negative on any of this, I don't mean as like again, because I think this is awesome, is that this feels like a bigger deal for New Japan than for AEW. I don't think this helps AEW in the slightest, but I think this helps New Japan a lot. I think this helps them pick up where they left off when they were selling out Madison Square Garden and, you know, like making some impact in the West. And they were set back by COVID, but now this is them getting back to where they were, but only further, because this is only going to help them. But like for AEW, it's like anyone excited about this was already watching AEW. Like there's not many New Japan fans they can like siphon off of this. But that being said, give me Orange Cassidy versus Okada like right now. I'll take that any day of the week. There's so much great shit.
They're both in chaos, though. I don't know if they.
It'll be a respectful match. It doesn't have to be a blood feud. We can just have a classic wrestling match to see who's the better wrestler. You know.
Do it for the title.
I would say, no, James, who is it? Yano, the true ace in New Japan? I'll take Orange Cassidy versus him.
There are very few things that I need in life. You know, I'm a happy person. I'm a happy man. I need Orange Cassidy versus Toru Yano. I need it, you know, so give it to me. And I do gotta go against something Danny said here, that this is more big for New Japan than it is for AEW. And to an extent, I do agree. I think New Japan is definitely going to get more eyes on it here in the West than AEW is going to gain any viewers here in the West because of it. But that said, ever since AEW has been streaming on New Japan World, they've seen huge numbers on their site. The Japanese fans are really eating up Dynamite on a weekly basis now. So on a bigger scale, we're going to see probably a bump in that viewership. And that might not mean much here, but as long as AEW continues to grow as a brand internationally, worldwide, I think that's a win in itself. Mm-hmm. And we all talk about it. We all believe in it. If New Japan thrives, all of wrestling thrives. If one company benefits from something, that means that's just another place for people to work. That's another place for viewers to watch. And that's good in my book. You know, I even if one company benefits more, I think we all benefit from it.
Yeah,
Sorry, Danny.
No, I'm 100% inclined to agree. I think AEW's benefit from this is growing in Japan because, as James said, they have the streaming service and they're doing well, but having this pay-per-view is only going to bring even more eyes to the product there. So it's good for them. Like expanding to, you know, another audience is only going to bring in more money. And that's, you know, the answer to all your questions is money, to borrow a phrase from Tony Kornheiser. So, Chad, are you as excited as James, or as we said, no one's excited as James, but are you almost as excited as James?
I absolutely hate going behind James. Pause. He is like by far with the enthusiasm and encouragement, but I totally agree. I'm not as excited because, as everyone knows, I'm the rookie here with both companies, but I am super excited. I'm up there. I'm like a 9 to James's 11, but I'm there. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm stoked.
These go up to 11. I gotta say, I'm really excited for this. I have pretty much fallen out of New Japan since the creation of AEW because the majority of the reason I watched New Japan was Bullet Club and the Elite. Mm-hmm. So ever since they left, I pay attention. I try to keep up with who's winning, and it's cool and stuff. I check in on Moxley matches because those are always good. But I'm not as into it as I was back then. But now we have all of these guys coming back and interacting once again with Bullet Club. Cole, the Bucks, hopefully Kenny, Hangman, I guess to some extent. We'll see, what interaction he has with, if any, with Bullet Club. I mean, but even then, he's interacting with guys that he interacted with when he was in Bullet Club. So there are so many things I'm excited to see that are coming back into fruition. The main things being hopefully Kenny, Jay White, and Cole all being in a room together at the same time. I mean, somebody buy out Finn and AJ really quick. Like, holy shit, that is going to be awesome. So we got a bit of time for that. That's not till the end of June. So we got a little time to let this breathe and be excited. But let's move on, get into the actual card for tonight. We started with CM Punk versus Dustin Rhodes, which was really cool. I'm going to just quote what JR said at the end of the match. It wasn't pretty, but it was a hell of a wrestling match. And it was a lot of chain wrestling to start. It seemed like it seemed slow, but it was more methodical. And because these guys are veterans, everything was just so calculated and like it was very technically sound. So it picked up at the end. The match ended with Dustin going for the bionic elbow. Punk countered with a head kick, went for the GTS. Dustin countered that, but Punk was able to fall into a pin and pick up the win. Afterwards, Punk went up the ramp and Hangman came out to stare him down. So that's now 100% official if we didn't know that already. But the match, Chad, I know we were talking before we hopped on. Right. You didn't love it because you didn't love the pacing, but I think you said you still thought it was still a good match.
Before you and I talked off the camera, I was giving the match like a 6.5 to a 7. But after thinking about it and listening to what you said in hindsight, it has to be probably an 8. It was a very sound match. Again, the pacing for me was a little shaky, but then I remembered that's Dustin. That's what Dustin does. He's seasoned to be that way. And then the segment at the end boosted it a little bit for me. So yeah, good match, sound match. Could have been better, but I'm spoiled. Sorry.
Yeah, Dustin Styles, now that he's older, is that he's a very slow, grinded out type of guy. He's like the old grit and grind Memphis Grizzlies. Like that's what Dustin is. He's a bit, he's Zebo. Like, he's a bit slower, but he's gonna slow the pace down and just grind out a win, or at least getting close to it. Danny, did you enjoy the pacing, or did you find it a bit methodical and slow as well?
No, I like the pacing. I think it's a nice change. For lack of a better term, a nice change of pace.
Quite literally.
Yeah, because I like when AEW. I think AEW is hitting its strides when all the matches are paced differently and almost feel like they're wrestling in different styles, even when they really aren't. Just sometimes the way their matches are structured makes it feel that way. So like, I like Dustin Rhodes match. I like a Christian Cage match. I like a Frankie Kazarian match, where their matches, they keep up with the younger guys going crazy, flying all over the place, but the pace is always a little bit slower and a little more methodical, and everything means a little bit more. So even if the moves are sloppy, it can always add into the match. I don't know if I would give it an 8 still though, but I still enjoyed them. I give it like an 8 out of like 13 maybe. But
only you.
The segment after, great stuff. Excited for that. It's about time. Let's get this freaking title reign over with. Let's do it. But no, I'm excited for this match. I think it's just going to be a great feud where both guys are going to be over as fuck, and the crowd will decide who they want to cheer for any given minute of the story.
Yeah, that is a very good point. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Punk healed it up a little bit more than he has been against Hangman.
I think he will a little bit.
Yeah, just to maybe try to garner a little bit of booze. But I don't really see that working. It's really hard for him nowadays to get booed.
He gets it. He crowds.
Punk got booed a little bit in this match against Dustin.
That's what I was saying. Like, he did do a couple of heelish things, like when he rolled Dustin back into the ring after Dustin hurt his knee, and he went to like go for a move on it, and Dustin kicked him in the arm, and he was just like, fuck this, and just started elbow dropping the shit out of Dustin's knee. You could see like the change in his demeanor, where he went from, all right, we're just gonna have a respectful wrestling match, to no, I'm gonna fucking hurt this guy. Like,
I'm never gonna boo CM Punk.
And that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people like you.
I will happily.
Yeah, I mean, look, if if it's part of the story, yeah, I'll boo him. I think a lot of AEW fans are usually pretty good about that. Like everyone cheers Adam Cole baby when he comes out, but he gets booed during the match and when he says heel is shit. So like people are willing to play along, but Punk is a guy I think it's gonna be a little more difficult for him to get booed.
Nope.
He's the Bryan Danielson to my James Gisanti. That's all.
I understand that. I appreciate that, Chad. Great. I thank you. He fucked with Jeff Hardy when I was a kid, so fuck CM Punk.
He still hates him.
Really, I can't. Brock Lesnar made me cry in 2002. CM Punk made me cry in 2009.
2008, 9, yeah.
Oh, when he left.
So, and you know, I still cry watching wrestling. So that's okay. It doesn't matter how old you are, guys. But I can say, you know what? Fuck Punk. Fuck him.
Process your traumas.
I love him. I've met the man. I've looked him in the eye and I've shaken. I stirred his hand and I respect him so much, but fuck him. I will boo him happily. I
like it.
I will say that was one of the first times where I'm like, man, isn't it cool how in wrestling, like,
nope,
the heel can be completely justified and right and actually be the good guy, but because of the way the story is told, he's portrayed as the bad guy, and the protagonist that everyone loves is actually the bad guy. It's so cool. Right?
Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Anyway, I have yet to rate a match on the pod. So I'm excited for this. We're doing it out of 10?
Yes.
Well, except 13. For Danny, he's doing
an arbitrary scale out of whatever you want.
It's
do it out of 5.
All right. I'm going to rate the match out of 10. I am going to rate
number.
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm going to rate it like a 7.5. I'm going to rate it a 7.5. I thought it was very good. I thought it was very strong. I am a big believer that Dustin Rhodes should just go over to NWA and win the title. I want that man to win gold. He's not going to do it in AEW. He could do it in Impact, I guess, or he could go to Ring of Honor, but I don't think that makes sense. I would love for a cross promotion where he wins the NWA title and let him be a world champion before Cody is. Although technically, I guess Cody is a world champion, but nobody seems to remember.
Didn't Cody win that title?
Cody won the NWA title and he won the Ring of Honor title. So basically, everything about what Cody's doing now is just spitting in the face of every company that gave him a shot. But I digress. Great match, very methodical. I got to ask you guys something, and I swear to God, I've been watching Dynamite since its first episode. Has the left tunnel always been the babyface tunnel?
No,
they flip it
I
all the time.
That too. They fucking arbitrarily change it, and I hate when they do that.
I was like, Hangman's coming out the heel tunnel.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
All right, thank you. I feel a little better now. I feel like safe again because then I saw Bryan coming out the other tunnel, and then Yuta came out the opposite tunnel, and I didn't know. My instinct is to cheer Bryan, so I thought, yeah, he's a babyface again. Yuta somehow the heel now, but either way, I loved it. It freaked me out, and I'm excited for Punk Hangman. I am. I don't necessarily know Punk's going to go heel, but he's going to do what he did with Eddie Kingston. He's going to try to bring out a little bit extra from Hangman. And I think if anybody could do it in a promo battle, it's going to be Punk.
He won't turn heel, but it'll be designed for people to cheer Hangman.
Exactly.
Yep.
Beautifully said.
Agreed.
I'm trying to figure out if where the heel face tunnel is depend on which side of the ring the tunnel is on. I wonder if that's it, because the ramp was on the right side today, and sometimes it's on the left side. Like last week, it was on the left side, so I'm wondering if it's on the left side. Then...
I'm not gonna lie, that hurt my head a little.
Yeah, I cannot be an architect tonight, sir. I'm sorry.
I'm just curious. I was like, I can't do it off the top of my head. Like, I'm wondering though if it depends on which side the ramp is coming, because that's not necessarily consistent either. I think it depends on the arena. But I don't know, if somebody wants to go on a deep dive and put that on Reddit and get karma, be my guest. Let's move along here. We had a quick backstage segment where Wardlow showed up to work and wasn't immediately kicked out. He entered the building to Smart Mark, telling him that he had a bunch of rules he had to follow, and then they forced him to wear handcuffs throughout the building, which was odd. And then we jumped into a match James just mentioned, which was the Blackpool Combat Club against Dante Martin, Brock Anderson, and Lee Moriarty. I thought it was interesting that Wheeler came out with Regal instead of Brian, which is cool. They're definitely putting a lot of chips into him, which I'm very much here for. Love Wheeler. He also had new gear, and they got new T-shirts, which was based off of Wheeler writing BCC in his own blood on his chest, and those looked awesome. Anyway, this match was violent, and I expected nothing less. I thought all the young guys on the other team got a lot of good shots in. Lee Moriarty stood up real well against Brian, I thought, a couple of times, which I thought was interesting considering he was one of the guys Brian name dropped when he first had that promo with Moxley. The match ended with the three young guys just getting their absolute shit kicked in, and then Dante had a paradigm shift. So not a squash, but it was a good match. James, it was good.
I liked it, I think, a little bit more than you did. I'm gonna give it just to start off the bat, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I love the bit where Moxley is just elbowing. I loved when Yuta joined in with the elbowing. Brian is just stomping. It was such a great, let's just beat people up moment. And I thought that was a lot of fun. I thought that was really cool. I don't know why they put Dante Martin in this match. I'm already nervous that Darius might be hurt again, and I don't need that. I don't need that stress. And I get that Dante has some support and he's popular for a younger guy. And maybe they wanted that. Maybe they wanted a young, popular guy to feel threatened so the crowd would feel sympathetic, but it didn't work. Lee Moriarty wasn't really I was happy to see him there. He had a good few moments to shine, but he had one little mini botch in the corner with Brian. That's not a big deal. It happens. But then the thing that really kind of upset me with him was he's kicking Moxley in the back, and Moxley's basically no-selling those kicks, and then Brian just drops him. And you're right, Nick, Moriarty was someone that Brian name dropped in the past about what we could do with this kid. And it almost feels like they're doing the opposite with Moriarty that they did with Yuta. Because I think Brian even wrestled Moriarty in his let me beat up young guys bit that he was doing for a while. And I was excited to think that Moriarty was going to join this group, but it does not feel like that's going to happen, which probably for the best, I guess. Maybe he's just not ready, but I kind of felt a little bad for him in this match. Brock Anderson has, I don't even know if he has a mom, because he might have just been cloned from Arn. And again, he's another one who I see developing well. He's got the fundamentals down. I think he just needs to continue to develop, and maybe should spend more time on Dark than on Dynamite. But again, it was a good showing. That match did exactly what it needed to. It let the Blackpool Combat Club look strong. They looked dominant, and they beat people up, which is what we want from them.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying when I was just shrugging my shoulders. I was like, this is exactly how this match was supposed to go. I didn't think it was bad by any stretch of the imagination. I just, it went the way it should have. And I was very happy by that. I'm going to note, since you brought up Darius not being around and Dante being in the match, I'm pretty sure Darius isn't in the 10-man tag they announced for next week either. Because I think they said it was these three guys, Dante, Lee Moriarty, and Brock Anderson, plus the Varsity Blondes against the Undisputed Elite. So hopefully Darius is okay. I mean, dude just got back and he's been looking great. So we shall see. I did, Chad, very much enjoy Regal, though, on commentary in this. He had some great lines about leaving his liver in Las Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I thought he did a good job of putting over the younger guys, too. So, which he always does. So I think, at least for me, I thought that was one of my favorite parts of this match.
For sure. If I have to rate it, I'm probably in sync with James. I'm giving it 8.5, maybe even an 8.6. I enjoyed it, all the talent. The whole match I did as well. I thought, damn, where's Dante's brother? No disrespect, because I don't know him as well. So I didn't
Darius.
say, yeah, I know it's Darius, but I just, first thing that came to my mind was like, where's the other Martin guy? And I thought I thought about that like the whole match. I'm like, I hope this guy isn't hurt. He just had a great match some weeks back, and I was looking forward to getting to know him. But other than that, the young talent was booming. Mox and Cox ruled. They did a great job. It was violent. It was chaotic. I'm here for it.
See,
I just love that Mr. Small Package himself is the Cox of the group. I love it. I think he'd love it too.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, violence is sometimes indeed the answer, and in this match, it definitely was. Danny, what were your thoughts on this match, Regal and the new look BCC?
Well, like you already touched upon, Regal was amazing commentary. He came in doing fantastic American accent. It was hilarious. The match, like you guys said, was what it needed to be. I'm gonna do an impression of Chad, and I'm gonna keep it short and simple because I feel like there really isn't much to say about this match. The right people won. They beat the Jobbers and Dante. I thought Dante was the only one on the Jobber team that actually looked good, who looked like he can compete with these guys. But the right people won. This was cool. Still the best thing in wrestling. Second best, obviously, besides Ezekiel. But like, it was what it needed to be. Good stuff. To be honest with you, I don't really want Lee Moriarty in this group anymore. He's failed the test. You know, he's a jobber. He doesn't belong.
Well, I think that was the point, to show that those guys were indeed not ready. I think you bring up a good point that Dante definitely looked on a higher level than his partners, which I think is, again, kind of the point. But I wouldn't consider Brock and Lee jobbers. They're just young.
Brock is 100% a jobber, but Lee, sure, you can make an argument for.
This is the first time I've seen Brock.
He's only been on Dynamite like a couple of times.
He's been on Rampage a few times.
Yeah,
they
lost every time.
Yeah, they the two of them fought FTR like a month or two back now, I think.
If you win a lot on Dark and Elevation, but you lose on Dynamite and Rampage every time, I don't know what to call you, but you're not a
jobber.
See, for me, like these young guys, I don't consider them like jobbers. They bring in jobbers.
Oh,
like they have jobbers.
I'm just being a dick. I'm sorry.
I like the
no, he's right. They're the enhancement talent. We don't call them jobbers.
I know, but yes, but like the guy who lost the hook is a jobber. These are like kids that they're trying to bring up through the system, and at some point, like these guys are hopefully, or the plan is, they're going to be some of the future stars of AEW.
Well, like, this one,
but they're supposed to lose. They're young and inexperienced, and they're facing two of the best wrestlers on the planet. Like that's the point.
Yeah, absolutely. But for our birthday boy, who's definitely not here, but if Brock Anderson's the face of the company, I'd rather die. Holy shit!
I'm not saying he's gonna be the face of the company, but you know, if he
got dark,
if he gets to anywhere near his father was, you know, that's a good ceiling for him. But all right, I think we spent far too long on this match. But
I agree.
To move on here, we had a backstage segment with the Bucks, Adam Cole, and Red Dragon. The Bucks are depressed. It's very obvious. They dressed in all black.
They missed their best friend Kenny.
Yep, they missed Kenny. They lost. Adam Cole lost again to Hangman over the weekend. Red Dragon lost to Jurassic Express, even though Fish somehow doesn't remember that.
I mean, if you get powerbombed the way he did, you're gonna forget it too.
Basically, the point of this was Cole just trying to keep them all together, proposing a 10-man tag for next week, Undisputed Elite Open Challenge, which, as I mentioned before, was answered. And then he said he had to go take care of something else. After my commercial, we come back to a quick video package about with Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal, recapping what happened at Battle of the Belts. Cool. And then we had the Tony Khan announcement, which where surprise, Adam Cole went. But we already covered that. So after that, geez, so many freaking promos. We had Jay Cargill backstage with Smart Mark hyping up the TBS title match on Rampage against Marina Shafir. Red Velvet is now officially part of the baddie section. So I don't know what that means for her, but I guess she's doing something on TV. And
Why wasn't this match on Battle for the Belts?
I don't think they had confidence in it for Battle of the Belts. And I also think it's the TBS title. They want to defend it on TBS.
Fair.
I think
no, it's not. It's being defended on TNC. Yeah. It's on Rampage.
It's never been defended on TNC.
Honestly, I would have put it on Battle for the Belts because it would have went up against the NBA Saturday instead of. Well, I guess it's still going up against NBA Thursday. Oh no, it's on Friday. Well, it's going up against NBA Friday. Playoffs, yo. NBA every day. All right. Anyway, Wardlow versus the Butcher. RIP the Rat in the Kitchen promos during MJF segments. Those were fun while they lasted. Anyway, so the segment started with MJF in the suite with Sean Spears next to him, cutting a pre-match promo, and then them throwing popcorn on everybody, which is pretty funny. MJF announced that Wardlow wouldn't get any music, and then he came out still in the handcuffs, surrounded by security. James, who was still trying to, calm down, for lack of a better phrase, after the New Japan announcement, then immediately gets this big meaty men slapping meat, and any stamina he was losing immediately came back. This ended with a Butcher powerbombing Wardlow. Wardlow kicking out at one, just getting pissed off, and then delivering a powerbomb symphony to Butcher for the win. And then no music hits. He gets handcuffed back and escorted back out. So, this was fine, I guess. Another match where it kind of just did what it needed to do, Danny. And we move on from here.
I agree. There's not much to say, but I will say that this is the least offensive week of the story to me.
Agreed.
I actually like that Wardlow was handcuffed because, god damn, security was competent for once. Let's go security, the real winners tonight, doing their jobs well. No shenanigans, no one got a hand. Where was this Dynamite again? Where was
Pittsburgh?
Yeah, let's go Pittsburgh. You got great security training programs there. I don't care about the match. I think MJF looks dumb for hiring someone who doesn't win matches, who couldn't even beat someone a quarter of his size in Darby Allin, But next week we got, or whenever this match is, I don't know if it's gonna be next week, but you should have started with Lance Archer. Like, if you're smart, I understand. Like, outside of kayfabe, you're gonna have like the jobber big guy, and then you have the enhancement talent big guy. After that, but. This is getting better. The story's getting better.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think security did so well because Wardlow let them do so well. He decided that he wasn't going to kick the shit out of all of them
which also made him look not as stupid because he didn't just cause a scene and, get nowhere for once. He got somewhere.
Yes. I know, James, you were obviously very visually disappointed that you didn't get your security beat down despite the fact you got some big meaty men slapping meat. But wait.
In your defense, James, or to, somehow back you up in a way, still, I'll prefer this over 10's beatdown of the security guards. This still ranks way above.
This was much better than that. I'll give you that. Fuck 10.
Or 10.
No. This is how he learns, okay? I'm not Moxley. I'm not Bryan Danielson that I can beat the guy up until he learns his lesson. I can verbally berate him. This is how we do it. Regardless of that. Yes, Danny, thank you for that. You're right. I was Adam Copelanded so hard because I got my big meaty men slapping each other's meat really beautifully. But again, it was only a half measure because I didn't get Wardlow just wrecking these security guards. It's like I'm not allowed to be happy. Not fully. There's always someone just raining on my parade when I want to be raining on the security guards' parades. Regardless, I agree. The match itself, it was what it was. Gotta say, I'm impressed Wardlow was able to power bomb Butcher 4 times in a row. He's a big guy. That could not have been easy. Like it was a physically impressive like action. I love Wardlow. I want more for him. I agree with Danny. I'm excited for this to continue. This was like the first week where I wasn't offended, but yeah, just good things. I'm not even gonna rate it. It was a squash match, you know,
which is what it was supposed to be. You know, to your point with the power bombs, like those wouldn't even look like he was struggling. Like he looked like he did them with relative ease. So
I would like to add one thing though to Danny's point. Why would MJF go to Butcher? This kind of actually goes back to AEW history of MJF having
this
working
weird alliance
relationship
with
with
Andrade.
yeah.
So he probably got a discount. That's probably what this was. He got the bargain deal here, the bargain bin deal. So I think now that he's gone in-house and it didn't work, he's going to branch out. And now we've got Lance Archer, who doesn't even want the money.
Yeah.
He just wants everybody to die.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought that was probably understood. I'll even jump to that segment really quick just to run it down. It was a backstage interview with MJF and Spears. MJF mentioned that he was a snake and that there was a lot more money where that came from, right, Snake? And then Jake the Snake came in, basically says everyone knows it's all about the money. As I said before, the answers to all your questions is money. And then Lance Archer stormed in, says he doesn't want the money, he just wants to fight Wardlow. And that was pretty much that. So yeah, Wardlow versus Archer next week, which should be cool. Chad, please jump in here.
Same as everyone else. I'm not going to rate it. It is what it is. We knew this was a squash match. Wardlow power bombed Yosemite Sam like 4 times. that was cool. I'm with you guys. Rav, stop.
Sorry, that one got me, man.
I have to agree with you guys. I'm settling into the not so offensive side of the storyline now. It was tearing on me for a while, but the last couple weeks I let it be, and it is getting better. The match was fine. I'm absolutely sick of Archer still. I can't do him. He looks like the white Moesha. I hate it. I don't like it. I'm over it. Him, sorry. Next.
Chad's similes are always on point, but I'm fine with Archer. I mean, he's like I said the last time he showed up, which I think was against Hangman. Like he always appears to be a threat, so he's really useful in these situations where he's fighting a guy that they want to get over more as even more of a threat. So it's a good spot for him. I'm sure next week's match will be good, and it'll be cool to just see the dude Warlow's size go up against an even bigger guy. So yes, more big meaty men slapping knee champs. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. That Big E clip showed up again on Twitter yesterday, and I couldn't stop laughing. It's still fucking funny as hell.
I watch it every time because of James now.
Yeah.
Every time I see it.
I watch it every time because Xavier Woods' laugh. Like, I think at this point, it's almost funnier than Big E saying everything.
All right, get better Big E. Does this bit where MJF is just hiring guys, does anybody else just really miss Miro? Or is that just me?
Oh yeah, is he
I've
still
been
hurt?
missing Miro.
He's filming a TV show right now. And good for him, but I want him beating people up again in AEW.
I agree.
Yeah,
I feel like he'd be perfect for this.
Yeah, I miss him in the Squidward void, just yelling at God. That was the last time we saw him. So after this match, we had a quick Eddie Kingston backstage promo for the match on Friday against Daniel Garcia, from which everyone from both sides, he said banned from the building, and then the crowd said banned from ringside. So either way, they're banned. Then we had Kyle O'Reilly versus Jungle Boy in an Owen Hart Foundation tournament qualifier match. This was really cool. I enjoyed this a lot. A really cool contrast of styles. You had a much quicker, faster, younger Jungle Boy versus a veteran and a guy who hard hitting submission specialist in Kyle O'Reilly. James, I enjoyed the hell out of this. It was cool. I wish they played up the fact a little more that after that Trio Woe spot, Jungle Boy pretty much had O'Reilly lined up for the snare trap and then didn't go for it, and opting to keep trying to beat him down because of the rivalry. And then he got the snare trap like a minute later, so I felt that took away from that spot a bit. I really kind of wish that ended up costing him the match. But it was good. O'Reilly won with a series of moves which I forgot to write down, but the last one was a top rope knee drop to Jungle Boy's back. And then after the match, Christian came down to help Jungle Boy out of the ring, and Jungle Boy just kept saying, "I'm sorry," and then Christian gave him a bit of a look. So I don't know what that means. We'll get to the Christian stuff in a minute, but James, did you like this match as much as I did?
I love the match. I'm a big fan of singles Kyle O'Reilly. I think I always feel kind of bad for Kyle, because it's one of those things that whenever he's next to Adam Cole, he's always going to feel overshadowed by Adam Cole. Even though I think Kyle is better in the ring than Adam Cole. And that's not a knock on Adam. Adam is great in the ring at what he does. It's just Kyle is an incredible technician. He's an incredible grappler. He's not afraid to go up top too, but he's just always going to feel second fiddle to Cole. And I think he's outgrown Red Dragon too. Don't get me wrong. I like Red Dragon as a tag team. I really I think they fit a great role, but I think Kyle is so much bigger than that at this point, so much past that at this point. But I get the money in Kyle O'Reilly right now is Red Dragon teaming with Adam Cole. I get that. I was so happy to see they acknowledged he's a former Ring of Honor world champion. I remember that reign. I was there when he won the title, and it's a good reminder of how good this guy is. And I always get a little nervous too with Kyle, because sometimes he could go a little too far into the goofiness that he is well known for, but we didn't get too much of that, if any, really. And the match was good. The match was strong. Jungle Boy, at this point he can deliver. He's still growing as a performer, but he's reliable. Kyle proved that to a new audience today, that he's reliable. And I very much enjoyed the match. And I think the right guy won. I think it should have been Kyle to win. Tag team champion Jungle Boy shouldn't be going further in a singles tournament. Not that that's a hard and fast rule, but let the other guy proceed, especially once you won the title match the following week. So I'm very happy that Kyle won. I'm very intrigued. I don't know if we're all going to talk about it now or if we're going to talk about it after the Christian stuff. I feel like they're very much teasing a Christian heel turn, because when he lost that match a couple weeks back, he got very WrestleMania 18 crybaby Christian. And I don't know, I think Jurassic Express is more than capable of surviving without him, but I do like that he's their mouthpiece, because I think they both still need it. But I think Christian versus Jungle Boy could be a banger when the time comes.
Yeah, a lot to agree with you there. I think they're working towards a Christian heel turn between, like you said, he stormed off the other week, and then now this, just like I said, he gave him an odd look. And the fact he even showed up in general was just odd. But you're right. I think Kyle O'Reilly winning this match makes a lot of sense. Jungle Boy is the younger competitor and more of a tag team wrestler now. Kyle's been both for so long that he can do both tag team and singles matches probably equally well at this point. So I thought Kyle winning made a lot of sense here. Because I was like, Jungle Boy could win, but I just don't think he needs it. Not that he doesn't need it. Like obviously, a singles win over Kyle O'Reilly is good, but I think like if he's just in a spot, he's not. I don't think he's in a spot where he should win. So, Chad, are you good with that? Did you think Kyle should win this match?
Absolutely. On top of me thinking Kyle should win, it also favored Danny's past statement where I think Red Dragon should have won the tag team titles when they fought that last time. I think Kyle is hot as fish grease right now. I definitely give this match of the night for me. Jungle Boy was firing at a high cylinder. Kyle was doing what he does. It was great. This was, undoubtedly match of the night for me.
Yeah,
hard hitting, young,
that.
the potential. It was great.
By the way, Chad, agree with you. Match of the night. I didn't rate it. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I can agree with that. Definitely 8.5. As for Christian, I don't know. At this point, he can kind of go be with the new brood with Edge and Damian Priest. He's not doing a thing.
Wow, Bully Ray much?
I'm
Yeah,
uninterested.
seriously?
I mean, I'm just kind of uninterested at the moment. I do agree that him versus Jungle Boy will be cool. Him versus Luchasaurus might be better, but whatever.
Talk about plotting matches. Wow, that was just cool but I mean, no, really quick, James. Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, sorry, but really, like, I can kind of see where Chad's coming from. Like, they haven't really given Christian anything to do recently outside of that singles match a couple weeks ago, and then just talking for Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
Right.
Like, he's just kind of been there, so I can see why you're not invested in Christian right now.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, James. Go ahead.
No, I agree. I agree entirely with Chad. I get being a little out of love with him. I'm not saying, hey, go be Edge's second fiddle again, but I do get it.
But go with a stable that makes sense. No.
Yeah. I don't know how that. I don't even think that group makes sense in WWE. But
it doesn't.
Wrong show, guys.
Yeah, but regardless, I don't know. I think Christian serves his purpose beautifully. I think Christian knows that he's there at this point. He got an incredible little moment beating Kenny Omega when he was peak belt collector. He got the Impact run, and I think that's honestly amazing that we got that for him. I think, though, his best purpose is really to help these young guys, and I think he's doing that very well. Yeah, he's not doing much on his own, but that's fine. You know, I don't need to see Christian wrestling every week. This isn't 2005. This isn't 2014. So
I'd settle for once a month, at least.
Yeah, no, I would too.
Yeah.
I would too, but I do think we get him more than we realize. I just think it's probably on Rampage too, and sorry, AEW, I don't have the energy, but yeah, I think it's fine. I think he's fine. AEW's fine. Christian's fine, but I am excited at the prospect of something new for him. Bring me the peeps. Give me the Christian coalition once again. All that is fine with me. Just, yeah, maybe a little shakeup is what's necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, peeps are on sale. It's after Easter now, so you get them real cheap.
Surprisingly hard to find. I went all around today. I had them DoorDash to me today.
Wow.
That is the commitment to the candy.
Dedication.
No, that's my favorite thing though, is like running the CVS like the day after Easter and just snagging all the candy. Halloween too. Get those Cadbury eggs real cheap. The candy coated ones, not the cream filled ones. All right. So Danny, what are your thoughts on this match and the potential Christian heel turn here?
Okay, so let me just say this. I really hate that you threw to me last because I was way more excited about this than any of you guys. You guys are all completely wrong. Even though I agree with a lot of what you said, you guys are completely fucking wrong. Right? First of all,
I went last.
Christian is exactly where he should be, okay? Because we're all sick of him around All Out time, but you know, all the big debuts made us forget that we were like, why is Christian in this spot? So he's in a perfect spot. are we complaining that Jake the Snake isn't wrestling every week, or that, I know, that's hyperbolic, but
they are
I was gonna say,
so
I'm just-
not the same
no.
age.
I'm just happy the man can walk.
he can take some Sting bumps. Sting's out here fucking jumping off balconies once a month. So why, screw it. Christian once a month, sure, that's reasonable. But anyway, this match was great. It was also my match of the night. I'll give it a Danhausen out of Hook. It was fantastic. The right guy won by a mile. This was so much bigger of a deal than you guys are making it out to be. Okay, this was a potential. Jungle Boy could have been the second fucking pillar to be turned on. If he won this match, I would be done with Jungle Boy. Still love Luchasaurus. Done with Jungle Boy, 100%. If he beat Kyle O'Reilly right here, okay. So this was the right call by a country mile. Also, this is literally speaking of New Japan, because this is something, as much as I'm excited about that, I like this way more than that. There's like one of two things on the show I was way more excited about than the New Japan announcement, but this has all the makings of Carl Anderson in the G1 type of run for Kyle O'Reilly, and I think that's fantastic, because I think Kyle O'Reilly is fantastic. I don't think there's a better person at selling in that company than Kyle O'Reilly. And oh boy, yeah, I agree with what you said earlier, James. I believe your exact words were "fuck Bobby Fish," so I agree with you. I love him in this group. Outside of this group, I do not have any feelings for him, but I'll take a single Kyle O'Reilly over this group any day. I love depressed Young Bucks. I don't like that they're going to face a bunch of geeks next week, but I like that they're going to have a match together. And I understand that they need to beat some geeks, or enhancement geeks, if you will, next week. That's all great. But this was great. This was fantastic. I love this. Happy holidays.
Now I'm glad I went to you last, because you just came out shot like cannon. So yeah, no, I mean, I should have the same level of enthusiasm, and I think I do. I'm just trying to be a little more presenter-ish because I'm hosting. But you're absolutely right. Like you said, you're 1,000%. Kyle O'Reilly should have won this match. It's the way. It was the way to go. The Carl Anderson shout, very interesting. I'd be cool to watch Kyle go, even if he doesn't win, to see him go deep and do well. G1 finalist too. So we'll see with that. I'm excited to see him in more one-on-one matches in AEW. He doesn't get too many. I think they said it was his first one in AEW. So getting a few rounds out of him should be a lot of fun. All right. Where were we? Yeah. So we had the MJF backstage interview, which I mentioned. And then we had the real match of the night, which was Hook making his Dynamite debut against Anthony Henry. That's a jobber. He's a dark guy, but he's Anyway, Smart Mark and Tony Nese are at ringside scouting. Nothing of note happened in this match until Danhausen popped up to try to curse Hook. Hook didn't care, slapped on the red rum, and won the match. Afterwards, Danhausen grabs the mic and starts saying, if Hook won't be cursed by Danhausen, then Hook will fight Danhausen. And then Hook ignored him and walked out. And it was right after Hook said, that Danhausen said, Hook will fight Danhausen, and the crowd popped, that TBS decided to go, hey, you still watching? And I missed everything that happened afterwards. So thank you, TBS app. Fuck you. But I'm so I don't know what's going to happen with this. Again, I kind of missed it. Chad filled me in and said Hook just ignored him and walked out. But I really want to see Danhausen in the ring, Danny. And if it's against Hook, I think that would be even funnier because the clash of just the kid who's too cool for school and Danhausen is fucking funny as shit.
Oh, yeah. This is the other thing that I was way more excited about than the New Japan announcement, because Hook made his debut on Dynamite. Oh my God. See, that's a future of the company. All right. Not Brock works an office job his whole life. Maybe is Mr. Incredible beside at best Anderson. Like, it's Hook is the guy. Put him on Dynamite. Have him beat Sammy which is the third best thing on the show that we'll get to. But like, have him
Okay.
destroy Sammy, win the TNT title. Fuck it. You know what? No. Have Punk beat Hangman, and then have Hook beat Punk, and then fuck MJF. Let him go to WWE with Cody. Put everything on Hook. But also, Danhausen's finally doing something. Oh my God, the reaction he got, so fantastic. It was so good. What was this jobber's name? What did you say his name was?
Anthony Henry.
And you said he wrestles on Dark. So
Yeah.
then what's the difference between him and a Brock Anderson who also just wrestles on Dark and loses on Dynamite?
Yikes.
Because Brock is young and has a lot of potential, and this guy is older and is just there to lose for the most part.
You are a
Well-
hater, sir.
Like
Me
the Butcher?
or-
Nick, you are a hater.
I'm not hating. Like, dude, people in wrestling have to lose, and sometimes people get full-time jobs just to lose, and that's perfectly fine.
And soon Brock Anderson will have a full-time job as a used car salesman, okay? And we all know that.
You calling him Mr. Incredible is mad funny because I'm just thinking of him as Bob Parr sitting in like an office chair that's way too small for him.
I can see that.
But yeah, this is great. This is great.
James, you want to defend Anthony Henry here? Is that
It's not even that I want to defend him, but like I don't see the difference. Like
the difference is to me the difference is like future potential. Like
Yeah,
that's-
but Brock Anderson isn't the guy to be talking about that with.
And how old do you think Anthony Henry is?
judging by his gray hair, older than Brock Anderson.
Brock
So
Anderson looks 60, bro. He looks
his
middle-aged.
His father is Arn Anderson. That man came out the womb looking fucking 40.
They look like they're only 10 years apart at best. Like, that's fucking...
I don't mean to be shitting on this guy. I'm like I saw him wrestle on Dark a couple times. He's good. I'm just saying, like, that's why he's there, which is not a bad thing.
You just keep using him as an example, and it makes me want to defend him.
You can literally just swap out the names, and you're saying the same exact things. It
Well,
doesn't-
his tag, yeah, I mean, his tag partner is
JD Drake.
JD Drake. I almost call him Eli Drake. Yeah, JD Drake. You could same thing applies, and I really
Who
like
looks-
him. It's part of the
Who
wingman.
is
or at least
Eli
he
Drake?
was.
No,
Sounds familiar.
Eli Drake is someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Is that LA
regardless-
Knight?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
JD Drake the one of the wingmen that looks like he's maybe 2 years older than Brock Anderson?
We are really losing the plot here.
Yeah, Hook
We did- we
and
did,
Danhausen, James.
Yeah.
How great, right?
I loved Hookhausen. I loved Hookhausen. It was a great segment. If we're gonna get Danhausen's first match and he loses, what the fuck? But at the same token, Hook cannot
Absolutely.
lose. Hook cannot lose. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like we've talked about it before. Like Hogan, Andre, Rock Hogan, Rock Cena. I think we've got it now, and
Rock Stone Cold.
I just mean like yeah, fine.
Generations. They're the same generation.
You're
Yeah.
right. Rock Stone Cold. Here we go. Hookhausen is it. You know, WWE had WLC. We have Hookhausen, and I am so excited for what this match could be.
And he didn't completely no-sell him. He smiled at it. He smiled at Danhausen. Also, hey,
Missed that.
you know, just while we're, throwing shit out here, they're going to have a match. It's going to tear the house down. They might do like 5 moves, but the crowd is going to eat it up. Then they're going to form an alliance.
Yep.
And then they're going to defeat the Blackpool Combat Club easily.
Please,
in like 2 minutes.
please
Like,
give it to me. Give it to me. I want Hookhausen to be a team. Get him away from Team Taz. Get Danhausen away from the Best Friends. This makes sense on so many levels. It's like I'm going back here, but for those that remember, like, all right, for more recently, we'll go Team Hell No. But even further back,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Rico and Charlie Haas.
Oh Lord.
That is what this is, and
It
I
worked.
need it. It worked, and
It
I
worked.
need it. I'm old, guys.
Just for the record, Brock Anderson is 25.
What?
And
tell that to his face, bro. Why
I,
does it
I,
matter?
I don't know if you helped him there because if anything, I feel kind of worse for him.
Anthony Henry is 38.
Who cuts his hair?
Well,
Definitely a
yo.
70-year-old cuts his hair.
There is no way that man is 25 years old. I need to see ID.
it's February 26, 1997.
It's a lie.
He looks like he's been doing my taxes for the last 40 years. He looks like he's been doing my family's taxes for the last 40 years.
He looks like
he has grandkids, bro. Like
he looks like he could have bought ID. He could have bought beer without getting ID when he was 12.
Does he have the Benjamin Button disease?
No, he has Arn Anderson genes.
Oh God.
Yeah, don't you age backwards if you're Benjamin Button?
You know what? Maybe he's aging in like reverse dog years, or maybe he's aging in dog years. I don't know.
Aging in banana years, bro.
God. Are you happy, Nick? This is what you did to the kid. We were fine letting it go. You needed to do this to him.
You know what's funny though?
you're the bad guy here, Nick. Just you.
Literally the hell.
You know what's funny though? In like 30 years, he's gonna look exactly the same, and we're all gonna be like, "Wow, he aged really well." And it's just because he already looks like he's 40. So when he's actually 40, we're all gonna be like, "Oh, he aged great."
40, he's going to look like he's 80.
No, he's not. I got to agree with Nick. Arn Anderson just stopped aging for a long time. And that's quite frankly why I want to stop joking about his son, because whatever with Brock, I wish him the best in, his time machine, but I am actually afraid of Arn. So I would like to move forward.
Arn does he does have that thing on him, so we do got to be careful.
Yeah.
Chad Danhausen, speak words.
Speechless. I love Danhausen. I'm very fond of Hook, but I love Danhausen. I don't care what he does, when he does it. Anytime I see him, I instantly get happy. I love everything about it. I want it. Inject it in my veins. Por favor.
So, okay, I know I've made a lot of joking, like fantasy booking ideas thrown out right now, but I am not joking at all when I say this. So let me preface it with fuck Jay Leno, but I need Conan O'Brien to be in Danhausen's corner at least once. Once.
Absolutely.
In AEW.
It has to happen.
I want like in kayfabe, Conan is actually Danhausen's dad.
Yes.
He kind of is. I mean, so
I like it.
Danhausen was on Conan's show once.
Yeah.
Explain it for those who don't know.
I was gonna say, for those who haven't seen, it was on Conan's podcast, and it was actually spoiler alert, Danhausen out of character, and he was explaining to Conan that Danhausen is basically if Conan O'Brien was a demon, which is is spot on. So they're friendly at minimum, and Conan knows of Danhausen, and he loves everything about Danhausen, including the teeth, which I definitely need to come back.
He said on the podcast he wants to do a run-in and save Danhausen from a beatdown.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, assuming Conan has a working relationship with TBS still, I imagine he does, I need this. I think we all need this.
Yep.
The world needs this. The world needs Conan O'Brien and Danhausen together on Dynamite.
Give me Conanhausen.
Oh, please.
It would also be great if Conan painted his face up and shit.
He doesn't need the paint.
He doesn't, but it'd be pretty funny. Yeah, just the black, not the rest of it. All right, let's move on here before we get too much further down the rabbit hole. We had a backstage interview with Frankie Kazarian. Was about to call out new TNT champion Sammy Guevara, but he was immediately interrupted by Scorpio Sky, who calls in a favor and says, "Look, I know you want the title, but let me challenge Sammy first, win it back, and then you get first shot." And Kaz says he's always got Sky's back, and Sky goes to hit the ring. Coming back from commercial, we had a quick Thunder Rosa pre-tape promo recapping what happened at Battle of the Belts and saying that she's looking forward to facing somebody at Double or Nothing. And then we have Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti promo. So for those of you who didn't watch Battle of the Belts, which I imagine might have been quite a few of you, Sammy won the title back, and he won it back. The end of the match was Scorpio Sky poked Sammy in the eye, and then the ref got distracted. Sammy went low blow, hit the go to hell, and won the title back. So, update, they're leaning into Sammy and Ty being heels. After
They're not leaning into it. They're just heels now.
well, no,
They're
yeah,
there.
no, they leaned into it. They steered into the skid, and Sammy and Ty are heels now, which is awesome. Not only that, they were able to get Men of the Year and Dan Lambert cheered, which is crazy to me after how much shit we've all talked about these guys, including Lambert. This is a billion times better now. Anyway, point of the promo, Sammy says Sky can have his rematch if he agrees to have the mixed tag, which with Paige Van Zandt. Sky agrees, and Sammy says, cool, ladder match next week for the title. Danny, I'm going to you first, since you said this was one of your favorite things on the card. Because
Yes.
I'm assuming because, like I said, they steered in the skid, and we have heel Sammy again.
Yes, pretty much exactly that. But also, it's a combination of things, right? It's one of my favorite things because they're doing the right thing. But also, I still fucking hate it. Because why did Scorpio Sky win the TNT title? Keith Lee could have been holding this title and we could still have this fucking garbage feud that's actually not garbage because Dan Lambert's fucking fantastic at his job. And it's making Ethan Page way better than he's ever looked since he came into the fucking company. Now I actually care when he speaks. And you know what? I really want to go back to the Kazarian promo with Scorpio Sky. I love this. I actually really, really love this. I am super down on Scorpio Sky winning the TNT title, but I do not dislike Scorpio Sky. And him being a heel, interacting with his former partner, who is still a face, and them not just arbitrarily hating each other because one's heel and one's face. I fucking love that shit. I love when heels and faces are still friends and still interact like such. Fantastic. I didn't take it as, wow, like Kaz is going to turn heel now. Like, no, it's like, yeah, he would have his boys back. And Scorpio didn't even seem disingenuous. And his,
I believe it. Yeah, I agree.
Continuity,
100%.
baby.
Love that shit. And then they came out not as baby faces, because Men of the Year are not baby faces, despite them leaning into the Sammy and Tay stuff. It's just heels who know they have the crowd on their side, engaging in a war of words with the quote unquote baby faces who they know the crowd do not like. They are just simply, they're also steering with the skin, as being like, hey, we're assholes. We're not changing who we are at all. We're not good guys all of a sudden. But oh boy, do we know that these people hate you, and we are going to take advantage of that, and we are going to use it. We're going to take, because ultimately a heel, despite being the bad guy, should ultimately, and from some deep down insecurity, want the adoration of the crowd and the respect that they think they deserve. And this is just like good heels taking advantage of one of these rare opportunities to get that adoration from the crowd. Whenever this feud's over and Men of the Year move on, they will be right back to being heels. They will get booed again, but they are just, this is just a nice exercise of self-awareness and a nice release of fucking pent-up energy from what's his name leaving the company and not going along with the booze, you know, which is a whole nother thing. But so this is just like a neat, it's just everything about this is actually fantastic, literally, besides how we got here and the TNT title being involved, because, you know, Sammy has all the makings of a fuckboy in high school who, you know, would always try to make a joke during class. Sometimes funny, sometimes not. You feel bad for him sometimes. Other times you just kind of can't stand him, you know. And he also has the face of someone who would talk mad shit, but then once you put your fist up, he would immediately back down. You know, I know he's wrestling, but like, you know, so is Miz. Doesn't mean I won't talk shit about how they're perceived. And again, like I kind of said last week, and I was harsh on them, but I think this is a factor. We did see you propose to your at the time girlfriend on TV, which we didn't have to. That didn't have to be on TV. There was no reason for that to be on TV. And then next thing you know, you're with the person who you told the crowd to mind their business. They don't know what they're talking about when they said that you were with them. Now you're just with them, and we're supposed to be like, yeah, you guys are the good guys. No offense, James, your fellow Brazilian, okay?
I get this hurts a lot. I'm not you, but the situation.
Yeah, it's just kind of, there's no way for the public to take it other than shitty, and we've seen enough of it. Enough of it has been literally presented to us for us to actually have some reason to form an opinion on it. Otherwise, I wouldn't care, Also, Sammy is the baby face. He was the baby face like a week or two ago, and he said he doesn't care about Ethan's kids. And this week, at least he knows he's a heel, and he says he doesn't care about Dan Lambert's dead grandpa. So at least that's some character consistency, I guess. But this is a great correction. This Dynamite was filled with great corrections for me. That just fixed a lot of issues I had. Great stuff. Sorry I rambled about it, but I felt strongly about these 3 back-to-back things, coincidentally.
No, fair enough. I think you made 2 very good points. The first being it's refreshing to see a company go with the crowd instead of just forcing what they want. Especially after years of Roman Reigns being forced down our.
I didn't need that.
But he's just the most prominent example. There are many other examples of WWE doing the same thing.
Yeah, like John Cena, or
But after years of them forcing things, even when we did want them, we finally have a company who's like, oh shit, this ain't working. They're booing this guy, and they're not the people we want. All right, let's have them lead into these boos, and turn them heel. And it's great, it's really good. I also think Sammy works better as a heel. I think he's just way better at, instead of pandering to the crowd, just shit talking them. Even though I really think he's a genuinely decent guy. He's got a very punchable face, like you said, Danny. He's the high school jock with the smoking hot chick on his arm. Like,
can I also add that, because you're comparing it to the other prime examples of people that got shoved down their throats. What's their names? Roman, Cena, whatever. They're actually, and this almost feels meta in a way, they're almost doing the same thing that these people do, but it's inverse. Because Cena always acknowledges the boos, and then he's just like, fuck you, I'm doing it for the kids and the people who cheer me. And that's a very common trope when a babyface has a crowd turn on them, that they'll just thank the people who are still cheering him, and accept the haters, or if you will. Sammy did the same thing in this promo, except he was a heel doing it and not a babyface.
Yeah, be mad.
So it's literally the same thing. It's the same stubbornness, but without the stubbornness. It's actually super meta and kind of cool in a way.
Yeah, it's the delivery. It's 100% the delivery, and how do you continue to act afterwards? And obviously, Sammy continued to heal it up. The other good point I think you made, Danny, is just the TNT title being held hostage by this feud.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they built Sky to be undefeated for, I think it was almost 400 days, maybe. I don't even remember the number he said. But he had that huge year-plus long undefeated streak. He wins the title in a weird way, and then he immediately loses it in his first defense. I don't understand the point of that. I didn't really understand the point of everything. Honestly, ever since Sammy won the title initially, the TNT title feuds have been murky at best. Mm-hmm. I mean, Cody got involved, and Cody left, and said it was an interim title, and then it's just been a mess. And there's so many other dudes who could have this title right now, and you could still have this feud going on. I mean, dudes like Keith Lee, you mentioned. You got Swerve. I mean, shit, I'll take Ricky Starks, even though he's carrying around a belt. There's just so many other guys, Chad, who could be involved, And while this feud is now heating back up because of the flipping dynamic, it's just like the title being there is unnecessary, and I think diminishing it a bit.
A lot, not a bit. It's murking everything. I'm with Danny. You can literally copy and paste everything he just said, and I feel the exact same way about all of it. And I'll go as far as to say, almost since Miro lost the title, it's been besmirched. I'm sorry.
Well, that was to Sammy. Yeah, that's
yeah. I mean, ever since and I like Sammy, I do, but ever since he's touched it, it has went down in stock since, and it's plummeting. So they need to do something and get that out of the way of that feud or something, just something interesting to.
Yeah. Hopefully what ends up happening is like they'll have this ladder match next week, and whether Sammy wins or not is fairly irrelevant, but I assume he holds it and then he loses it and before the mixed tag title match. Not the mixed tag, just the mixed tag match.
I hope so.
So like somebody completely random just to get it out of that feud. It's just not needed there.
The random person needs to be
Hook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hook. I'm fine with Hook.
I mean,
I would also love Keith Lee, but Keith Lee should have won the ladder match because, like we said, with the title being wasted, the ladder match has also been wasted by being associated with this at all, because that wasn't Scorpio's first defense where he lost to Sammy. It was the second because he beat Wardlow in something that's Sammy has somehow dragged down Wardlow in all of this.
Yeah, yeah.
You're right. I forgot that was a defense, but my bad. But yeah, like it just. And even then, we were just like, why is the title involved in any of that? Like it was just so weird. James, we disparaged some of your favorites, and I know you've been chomping at the bit to get in here. So, do you agree with us about the title?
Oh no, I absolutely agree. Truth be told, I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying in general.
Wait a minute, sir. Sorry,
your mic's jacked up.
Yeah, you're a little robotish, you know.
Really?
Yeah,
it's the curse of Cena. Yes.
All right. See, I'm just not allowed to speak because I had opinions.
It is the fumes coming out of your ears, staticked up the mic a bit.
All right. Well, he's gone. All right. Well, what a great show. That was great. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, fuck the TNT title scene right now. You know, even though Strick's good.
Yeah, it's just, dude, it is really dumb that the title is there.
I agree.
I
3-time champion.
Yeah, and this was a post on Squared Circle today too. They said a lot of what we're saying. A lot of the thread agreed. I mean, I know that's what usually happens in those threads, but yeah, he's 3-time TNT champion.
Mm-hmm.
I understand him winning back the title presented a very good opportunity for the heel turn there, just because winning the title in that fashion with the dick punch is a very easy turn. But just
also,
I don't know.
I am very weary of the ladder matches surrounding this title now.
Yeah,
because of the way it's plummeted. I mean, they're always good matches, but
yeah, and we're getting
no feeling there.
Yeah, Danny's favorite one-on-one ladder match, but it'll be another thing where it'll be good, but I think it's just coming like, oh, Sammy's thing is he's crazy and he's going to do a ladder match.
Yeah.
James, welcome back.
How do I sound?
Perfect.
Wonderful.
Like an angel.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Like Jesus and Fergie.
It's provocative. Nobody knows what it means. I agree with almost all of your points, actually, guys. I don't like that the title has been held up in all this. It probably would have been better suited elsewhere. It would have almost definitely been better suited elsewhere. I don't like that next week's match is a ladder match so soon after another TNT ladder match. I hate that Ty Conti, who was getting legitimate cheers, was feeling like probably like the number 2 babyface in the women's roster. Who would you put above her?
Anyone.
No, dude, she was up there. She was getting really cheered. She was way over.
I wouldn't put Ruby above her at that point. I think when Ty was at her hottest, she was getting more than Ruby. I'd say Thunder was.
Yeah.
Not, absolutely not. Ty was always yeah, we like you, but we're never gonna buy into you like that type of person. You know, I think
she was way over in her match with Jade Cargill on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, she was over for a while.
And when she had her feud with Britt too.
But you know, look,
she wasn't more over than Britt, who was the heel.
No, we're not saying she's more.
Very few people were. But very few people were more over than Britt at that point. But look,
Britt, Thunder, and her.
Regardless of that, I'm sad that she's now a heel. But the truth is, her performance tonight makes me think that she is going to kill it as a heel. She partnered up beautifully with Sammy. I wish they were never together in the first place on TV. I wish their relationship stayed off TV for a lot of the reasons Danny mentioned. A lot of people were invested in Pam. You know, like we didn't need to see them get engaged on TV, but we did. And if you're a fan of the vlog, like I know you are, Nick, people were invested in that relationship. And that's not to say that Sammy can't live his life. He should live his life, but it's hard to root for it so suddenly, so quickly, when there were a lot of questions, which granted, admittedly, are none of our business. But when you, like Danny said, just put it in our face and we are sort of obligated to care, we are going to form our own opinions. The one thing I will say, I got to disagree. I'm sorry, Danny, with you on this is...
I mean, you're wrong, but go ahead.
Fair point. I don't even know if I should say it. But I do think that the men of the year are going to turn face. I don't necessarily think Lambert is going to. I think they're going to do like that sort of midway thing where he's aligned with them until the feud is over, and then he's going to turn on them. Because the truth is, Ethan Page doesn't need a mouthpiece. He isn't great on the mic when they actually let him. Scorpio Sky is at this point now rebuilding that trust with the audience that he lost because, quite frankly, nothing he did wrong. He just wasn't highlighted for like a fucking year. So I don't think they're going to need him post this feud. I just think they need him to finish what they started. And that's why I don't mind. The one issue that I don't have with the TNT title being involved in this, as much as the title's been held hostage, I think it helped Sammy complete the heel turn. I think if you just have him have a match with Scorpio Sky with no title and he low blows him, yeah, sure, he's a heel, but we're not going to hate him the same way that we seem to be hating this character right now. And I don't think we're going to feel as sympathetic for Scorpio Sky as we would if he didn't lose a title in this process.
Literally just said that when you weren't in the Zoom.
Son of a...
If I can rebut to that real quick. So my bad. I was a little presumptuous when I automatically said you were wrong before you stated your case. I mean, it turns out I was right, but like I should have given you a chance, right? You know, that's on me. 100% men of the year go nowhere if they get rid of Dan Lambert. They are dead in the water from the very minute that they abandoned Dan Lambert. But again, I think Ethan Page is a great talker too. I agree with all the good things you said about them. They are just very lost. Nothing makes them special in AEW because AEW is a really special place right now, you know, and they have nothing to make them special besides Dan Lambert. So without him, they flounder. Maybe not Scorpio because they can do an SCU reunion and we'd all accept that, but that's a lower tag thing. That's not a, you know, this is a pinnacle for Scorpio Sky right now. But was there other point with the title? Yeah, that's true, but it just, you know, works better without the Cody title reign in there.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, the only other thing is we got to this point with Sammy. The low blow on Saturday didn't make a difference, especially because I guarantee like at least half the people watching Dynamite didn't see that. So they were going to boo him regardless. We've made that decision 4 weeks ago, more or less. And that's just where we're going now. He is a stand-in for Cody Rhodes. And that's all he is. And Tay is a stand-in for Brandy.
I don't know how it happened.
They
I
are
don't-
taking advantage of it. They're just happen to be the on-screen couple at the time, but
Yeah, how did we
they
get
are at
here?
least taking advantage because it's such great opportunity. Because it's a lot of residual heat. This isn't even all about them. A lot of this is just leftover heat from Cody, and this is the last person to face Cody and the last person to be someone involved with him. And also Men of the Year too, and that's why they're still getting the residual cheers too, because when Cody fucking just up and left, Men of the Year and Dan Lambert were getting cheered, and Cody was getting booed. They swooped into a feud with Tay and Sammy instead of Brandy and Cody, and they're just getting the residual boos of that. And also, again, fuckboys can't be faces. Those are just rules of life. Okay, they can be bad guys. They can have vlogs. Sammy is the David Dobrik of fucking AEW, and he needs to embrace that. Okay, and Fuego I don't know any other people in the vlog, so I can't make a comparison, but I'm sure there's one that fits. But
He's the Josh Peck of the vlog.
I don't
Oh.
accept that. I think Dan Lambert is a Josh Peck. I don't know why. But
God, okay. I think we got to start wrapping up soon.
I mean, fuck this main event, right? Who cares? Actually, no. I care about this too.
Actually, I was gonna say I would be curious to know how this would all be going if we skipped the entire Cody part. Because I feel like you're right, Dan.
Much
I feel
better.
like Cody getting involved in any and all of this has just made because Chad, you said, how did we get here? We are here because Cody was involved and then up and left out of nowhere. And that's why we're here. Like
and he knew he was going to do that.
I don't know if
whatever.
he knew he was going to do it, but like it was just
Absolutely.
he shouldn't have
This
won the
was
title
very
back.
premeditated.
He shouldn't have won that title back. If you
When
wanted
did he
to
win the
do-
title? When did he win the title, Cody?
Jesus Christ.
January, I think.
Was that
A
He's-
month before
no
he
way that
left.
was my
He,
birthday.
he said that he knew in January he was leaving.
He knew. Come on.
Oh no, he won on Christmas Day. On
All right, fair.
The
Christmas-
Christmas, Jesus.
yeah, that was his fucking
Still think he knows.
LA Christmas present.
Oh, that was wow.
He absolutely knew.
He shouldn't look. He
was like-
shouldn't have won it back, and they should have just done Sammy versus Men of the Year, and we probably wouldn't even had this heel turn. Deadass, we probably wouldn't have had it. All right, but
I'm fine with the heel turn though.
Oh no, yeah,
Because,
where we are
yeah.
now, yes, the heel turn makes sense. But
But if Cody doesn't leave, we actually all this is just Cody versus Men of the Year.
yeah, maybe.
Ugh.
All
And
right,
they have a
let's-
rematch from last year.
Well, yeah, I know we could talk about this all night, but we do got to move on. We had next Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, against Danielle Carmella for an Owen Hart qualifier match. Britt came out with Najee Harris and Heath Miller, Pat Fairmouth of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You've been holding on to that one all night.
Yes, I have been.
Words reference.
Yeah. This match was good. It was nice to see Britt back on TV. Obviously, very over in Pittsburgh. I should have worn my Pirates hat this week. I didn't know they were in Pittsburgh. Anyway, Britt used the Steelers wide receiver glove to put on the lockjaw and win. And then she cut a promo basically disparaging the entire division, which shocker. I don't really have much else on that. And since we went long on Sammy's side, does anybody have anything good for that? Or
I have literally 10 seconds worth of stuff.
go?
There's a reason that in Britt's promo, she didn't mention Tay Conti because she was never number 2.
Jesus
Right.
Christ, why?
Also, baby
Why?
faces, people in their hometown getting treated like stars. More of that. And that's it.
Wow.
I have a quick
9
question.
seconds.
Literally just a question. The other woman that Britt was fighting, she looks really familiar. Does
I
anybody?
think she's from NXT. I
Okay.
think she was
Vanessa Bourne?
Yes, I think she was Vanessa
Okay.
Bourne.
Thank you. That's been bothering me all night.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up, but I wasn't confident enough to bring it up.
Right.
But once you said it, I was like, I had the key to throw the spirit bomb for it.
Okay, awesome.
How is she different than Brock Anderson?
Oh Lord.
Yes,
It all
NXT
comes back
expert Chad, everybody.
to Brock.
I'm just throwing this out there. I missed the House of Black promo in my notes. I know it happened. I think they're still talking about Fuego.
I'm kind of tired of them not doing anything now.
Also, they're doing things with Fuego. Okay, I love Fuego, but it's just so weird.
It's
that they're
weird.
doing
It's
things with
weird.
Fuego.
It's
Uh,
weird.
Yep.
How is she different than Brock
Yeah. Then we had a Sheeta versus Deeb Philly street fight promo package. I'm hyped for that, even though that feud has been going on
Me as well.
longer than any relationship I've ever had. And then we had the main event, Darby Allin versus Andradel in a coffin match. As you said, Danny, this match underwhelmed, I think. I wasn't even whelmed, I was underwhelmed. Blade interfered within 10 seconds of the bell ringing, and then Mark Quinn hopped in like 20 seconds later. The two parts of this match were Sting did the thing where he wore the Sting mask and he came out of the crowd.
Yes.
And then Darby wrestled the whole match in his suit. Oh, and the third best thing was you can clearly hear Bryce Remsburg tell them they had 90 seconds to finish the match.
Right.
Anyway, the end of this match was Darby knocked Andrade into the coffin with one of his like absolute missile tope suicinas. Jose came down to try to protect him, and he got a back full of thumbtacks for his trouble. And then Darby kept slamming the thumbtack lid onto Andrade until he finally closed the casket and won. And then Sting came out to celebrate, and then the Hardys were on the stage doing the delete thing to end the show. So that's how Dynamite ended. Like I said, little underwhelming match, but we got Sting in the Sting mask, and that's all I care about, Danny.
100%. That's all. I popped so hard for that. Oh boy. If I was a holiday celebrating person, that would have been the thing to send me over the edge. But also Sting did another dive off the balcony. Please stop. But also it was amazing, but please stop.
And no soul to chair again, which I will always pop for.
But that was a great way of doing it.
I disagree. He is not no selling the chair. He is getting stronger with every chair shot. He was getting beat down. He was getting hit. But the moment that chair hit him,
It's like a shot of
like
adrenaline.
a meerkat shooting up in the air. I loved it.
Meerkat.
You using Timon was very hilarious just now.
Thank you.
It's a good reference, man. But yeah, Chad, what did you think of all this?
Oh man, 3 words. Sting being Sting. That was clearly the best part of this whole match, the whole thing. I'm with Danny. I popped as well. I was like, damn, like, Sting is just being perfectly executed and used. Like, I can't. He's just doing everything right. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, they have perfectly booked him so far.
Literally.
Danny, did you have something?
Oh no, I was just agreeing.
Yeah, honestly, I think the only other thing I have to say about this match is they put a lot of what I figured was the better stuff with when like everyone was still involved in the match during the picture-in-picture. So I feel like we ended up, if you weren't paying attention because you were trying to set up for our podcast, you probably missed some of the good spots with like all the chaos and shit. And then all of a sudden,
do that?
All of a sudden, you come back and where'd everybody go? So I think that was a big part of why I was so underwhelmed by this. But Darby winning a casket match makes sense, and
his second win in a casket match in AEW, right?
Well, he has both casket matches and he has both wins, so yes.
He is the anti-Taker in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that was his name.
Fuck.
Yeah, what was I saying? The other one was against Ethan Page.
Yep.
I think that was shortly after they started leaving Jacksonville. So
yeah.
All right, that about wraps things up. I think. Anybody got any last comments or concerns?
I don't like Andrade.
We know.
On that note, it was great seeing you guys once again.
Yep. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. As we say every week, James will wrap and dye his hair green once we hit 100 subscribers. We're almost there. We're somewhere in the 70s. So I don't know. Text 5 of your friends to text 5 of their friends, and we'll get there real quick. I will put all the socials in the description below once YouTube lets me. But we've gone really long, so let's get the hell out of here. My name is Nick Cummings. For Danny Hernandez, Chad Big Bad Johnson, and James Asante, we will see you here next week.